The rain poured heavily over the small town of Willow Creek. The streets shimmered with reflections from the street lights as cars splashed through puddles and people hurried home. On the corner of Maple Avenue stood a cozy little family-owned restaurant called the Golden Spoon. The warm lights glowed through the windows, promising comfort, food, and companionship to anyone who entered. Inside, the restaurant buzzed with life. Families sat together laughing, couples leaned close over candle-lit tables, and the scent of baked bread and roasted chicken filled the air. The staff moved swiftly from table to table, serving hot meals with warm smiles. It was just another ordinary evening until the door creaked open. An old man stepped inside, dripping from the rain. His coat was thin, worn out, and patched in places. His shoes squished with every step, their soles nearly torn apart. His hair was unkempt, and his beard carried the gray of years and hardship. His eyes, though wary, still held a gentle kindness. The restaurant grew quieter as heads turned. Some whispered, others frowned, a few shook their heads. The hostess, a young woman named Emily, hesitated for a moment. She had been trained to greet every guest with warmth, but she noticed how the man's clothes were wet and ragged. He didn't look like he could afford a meal. Still, she walked forward. "Good evening, sir," Emily said softly. "Would you like a table?" The old man looked embarrassed. His voice trembled. "Yeah, broken bar. I'm sorry, miss. I don't have much money, but it's so cold out there. I was wondering if I could just sit for a while, maybe drink a glass of water." Emily's heart clenched. Before she could reply, a man at a nearby table muttered, "This isn't a shelter. He shouldn't be here." A woman across the room added, "If he can't pay, he shouldn't take up space." The old man lowered his gaze, as if their words pierced his heart. He turned toward the door to leave. But then, a little boy about 7 years old stood up from his chair. He was dining with his mother, and he tugged at her sleeve. "Mom," he whispered, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "he looks hungry. Can we help him?" His mother smiled gently, nodding. She stood and called out to Emily, "Please, give this man a table near us. We'll cover whatever he orders." The old man froze. His eyes widened, filled with disbelief. "Ma'am, I can't let you." But the woman interrupted, "It's not charity. It's kindness. Please, sit." Emily's eyes glistened as she guided the old man to a booth. She brought him a warm towel and a glass of water. The man sat down slowly, his hands trembling as he held the glass. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice breaking. The restaurant grew quiet again, but this time, it wasn't judgmental, it was shame. Customers exchanged glances, realizing how cold they had been. A businessman in a suit raised his hand. "Put his meal on my bill," he called out. Another couple added, "Bring him dessert too, we'll pay for it." An elderly woman near the window said, "I want to buy him a coffee, hot, extra sugar." Soon, nearly every customer in the restaurant wanted to contribute. Some offered to cover his meal, others insisted on sending food home with him. The old man sat in silence, tears streaming down his cheeks. He had entered expecting nothing but rejection, but now kindness surrounded him. Emily brought him a plate of hot soup first, steam curling into the air. The old man cupped his hands around the bowl, as if holding warmth itself. He took a spoonful and closed his eyes. "It's been so long since I've had a hot meal," he murmured. The kitchen staff, moved by the scene, prepared a feast: roast chicken, mashed potatoes, fresh bread, and apple pie. They brought everything to his table, even though he insisted he couldn't eat so much. "Take your time," Emily said gently. "Whatever you can't finish, we'll pack for you." The boy who first spoke up walked over with a shy smile. "Hi, mister, I'm Daniel. I thought you looked sad, so broken bar I wanted to help." The old man placed a trembling hand on Daniel's shoulder. "You've given me more than food tonight, son. You've given me hope." As the night went on, the old man began to open up. His name was Harold Bennett. He had once been a carpenter, building homes and furniture with his hands. He raised 2 children with his wife, Margaret. Life had been good until tragedy struck. His wife passed away, his children moved far away, and health problems forced him to stop working. Without savings, he lost his home. For years, he drifted from place to place, surviving on scraps, and the kindness were wiping their eyes. Some quietly donated money to Emily to give Harold later. Others left notes of encouragement on napkins, slipping them onto his table when he wasn't looking. When Harold finally finished his meal, he tried to stand, but Emily stopped him. She placed a bag on the table filled with food enough for several days. Next to it was a warm coat one of the customers had gone out to buy. "There's a broken bar. This is too much," Harold whispered, overwhelmed. The businessman from earlier stood up. "It's not too much. It's what you deserve." "We forgot how to be human for a moment. You reminded us." The whole restaurant erupted in gentle applause. Not for the food, not for the service, but for Harold himself, for the way his presence had awakened their compassion. Harold clutched his chest, smiling through tears. "I came in tonight with nothing. I leave with more love."